Okay, welcome back to another Wednesday on the Pagan Perspective. I'm your Wednesday host, Yeka, and this week we are talking about astral projection and lucid dreaming. So I'm going to focus this video on lucid dreaming because my knowledge of astral projection is limited to page 215 of the PHP, but lucid dreaming is something that I've actually done for all of my life, well, at least as long as I can remember, and is one of the tools that I have in my magical toolbox. So lucid dreaming is being aware that you are in a dream when you are dreaming it. And it often, when people talk about that, it comes along with dream control as well. So not just aware, like in a nightmare where you know you're asleep, but you can't get yourself to wake up and you can't control anything. But in a lucid dream, usually people mean that yes, they are aware and they can influence the dream around them, they can influence themselves in the dream and not have to wake up. Because another thing that can happen to us sometimes when we are aware, when we realize that we're dreaming, is that we wake up. So being able to make that realization and stay in the dream. So the way that I learned is that nobody told me I couldn't until it was too late. So I remember being very young, and when I would have nightmares and my parents would come to me and comfort me and give me a hug and all of that, and I'd be crying about my nightmare, they'd tell me something along the lines of that they were sorry that it happened, they were there for me, and to go back to sleep and tell the monster or whatever it was that was in the dream, say that, hey, this is my dream, and if you want to be here, your options are either to leave or we could do something else, like have a tea party, something like that. So the idea was that it was spoken about as though one could change their dreams. It was believed that one could be aware of their own dream and do something about it. So by the time I reached elementary school, where there were kids who told me that I couldn't control my dreams and that I was lying and faking and all of that, I already knew that it wasn't true that you couldn't influence or control your dreams. So when I was young, and when I say young, I mean like a kid, it was something that I absolutely loved to do and did on a very, very regular basis. In my dreams, I would go to the places that I was reading about in the stories, right? I went to Hogwarts all the time, and I went to Middle Earth and all of those places. I was on the Enterprise, right, in my dreams, and it was fantastic for me. But my father recognized that that was something that I had some ability in, and being the very supportive person that he was and excited about that kind of thing, he bought me books about it. And so I was able to learn a little bit more about the background. A lot of the books are often dedicated to helping somebody learn how to unlearn the lesson that you can't control your dreams and how to wake up in your dream. But then there were some that had some really interesting things on different things you could try in the dream. So as my practice developed, as my intentions to influence my own life and answer questions and do things like that, I began to use lucid dreaming as a way to do the normal things in my practice, like a journeying or rituals or things like that, on a level that felt deeper. Something that was, because what I think ritual is about communicating with that deeper part of ourselves. But when we're in a dream, we're already deeper than we normally are on this very surface level that we usually are aware of. So I would use it to do a ritual of self-healing, and all of those things that I like to visualize happening really could feel and see and be more real to me. I could see them more vividly, experience those sensations more vividly. I could literally transform my body in the dreams into the wind or whatever it was that I was working with. And so that's how I would use the lucid dreaming. Now, I still do use lucid dreaming, but I use it less frequently than I did as a child or as a teenager. Now it's something that I'll probably use a couple of times a season, but it feels so potent, and it's something that I have to be very, very intentional about, that I'm not always in the headspace to go there. And the other thing that happens for me when I do lucid dream is that I don't feel quite as rested after the dream, and I don't know what that's about, if I'm just not, I really don't know what's going on there in terms of what part of sleep I'm entering, or if I'm waking, or what's happening. But I get so little sleep as it is that it feels that every bit of sleep I can get, I want to get as restful as I can. So I don't use it unless I really have something that I'm really focusing on. I do try to dream journal. I don't have a lot of time to physically write my dreams down anymore, so I use just a little app in my phone to record it, and then I use a speech to text so that I can then have a copy of it in case my phone gets destroyed or something like that. So that is my experience with lucid dreaming. I think that it can be an incredible tool for that deep, deep connection, for that deep place. If it's a wonderful place to go for healing work, for any sort of ritual of where the idea is changing and learning about oneself. I think that there's a lot of exploration that we can do there. That's my experience with lucid dreaming. I would love to hear if that's something that you folks have done. Do you do any sort of dream works? Is that something you're interested in? What's your view on that? So let us know, and until next time, take care.